you know, you do realize that he hasn't stopped looking at you.
My tastes are very singular. You wouldn't understand.
Enlighten me then.
I would like to bite that lip.
I think I'd like that too.
Is this what you want?
Yes, please. Need you turning it up a notch? You could say that.
Rated R.
Yeah, it's probably not a good sign if Beyonce Knowles literally sounds like she literally just shit her pants. Have fun with that striking image when you think of her in those Levi's jeans from the Cowboy Carter commercials. But welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. I don't know what the hell I'm starting that off for, but like that. But we are looking at the 3 films of Valentine's Weekend 2015, and kind of like the opposite of last weekend, where we had one good movie over 2 bad movies. We have 2 good movies, but we have to start off with a bad movie. Case in point, 50 Shades of Grey. This is, of course, based off of the best-selling trilogy of novels by E.L. James, and it stars Dakota Johnson as Anastasia Steele, who's a college graduate who begins a sadomasochistic relationship with young business magnate Christian Grey, played by Jamie Dornan. So let's start this off by talking about the books themselves, because confession time, I did read these books when they came out, and I know what you're thinking. Why the hell am I reading these books? Well, Entertainment Weekly ran an article back in the day when the Hunger Games was coming out, and they were saying that, you know, this is going to be the next Hunger Games. This is going to be the next big franchise. It's going to become the next big global phenomenon. So you better start with, if you haven't read it yet, you better start getting them now. So my 23-year-old mind, when that story broke, was like, well, shit, I guess I gotta go out and read those books. And yeah, I read all 3 50 Shades books so I can get an idea of what the books are about before the movies came out. So essentially, I could go ahead and be ahead of the game before the film comes out. And what a shocker. I hated every single one of them. But I, like a dumbass, kept reading after the first book instead of stopping, because I thought, okay, the first book was bad, but surely it's gotta get better from here, and no. It never did. I mean, I finished reading that series, and I swear to God, not too long before this movie came out, I actually sold all 3 of those books for $30 at a Steel City Con. So I basically got my money back for the stuff I sold it from. But that was one of my biggest what the hell was I thinking moments with that in general. So when they finally made the movie and everyone was talking about how shitty it was, I turned away for the longest time. And then, you know, about 3 years after the movie came out, I did this thing on the website called the Summer Suckfest, where I took a look at movies that were movies that I initially overlooked and thought, you know, I'm never going to watch these movies. So I figured, why not watch them? I watched the Transformers sequels I didn't want to watch. I watched The Hottie and the Naughty around that time. Actually, I got the list right here. The Twilight movies, I watched those. Pixels, Nine Lives, Battlefield Earth. Yeah, so I figured, you know, why not do the 50 Shades of Grey movies, too? And, you know, I decided to do it where I finally watched the movie, and maybe, just maybe, there might be something there that wasn't there before, to quote Beauty and the Beast. But, yeah, I went into it giving it the benefit of the doubt, and yeah, what a shocker. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, wow, congratulations. You managed to make BDSM and sex the most boring fucking thing in the world. I mean, you have to try to make this the most boring thing ever. I've seen better sex in softcore movies on HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax combined. For you youngsters out there who don't realize that, because they haven't done this since, I think it's been a while since they've not had stuff on After Dark on, I think it might have been before COVID happened before 2020, but yeah, there was a time where after midnight, if you switched over to HBO Max, HBO Cinemax, Showtime, sometimes the Movie Channel, you go on there and you see these softcore movies on there, softcore episodes of adult shows. Those had better sex in there than they do in this fucking movie. And if you're gonna do this movie right, you gotta make it NC-17. You can't just simply make it an R movie unless you're going to go all in on this. I mean, this is basically a PG-13 movie disguised as an R-rated film. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, where do you even begin with what's wrong with this movie? Let's start with Dakota Johnson, which, how dare you waste her talents on this movie here? You took a great rising actress who I saw on Ben and Kate, which was a show that was on Fox for about a season in 2012. It was a very underrated show with Nat Faxon. It was a really good show. Fortunately, got lost in the shuffle. Didn't last, like I said, it lasted only 1 season. And my first thinking was, you know, okay, she takes this role. it probably won't be any good, but you know what? She'll take the Kristen Stewart route with Twilight. You know, she'll star in these movies, and then when this series comes to an end, she'll go ahead and become a really promising young actress overall, and maybe become somebody much more than we expect her to. Really has not done that much since then, and when she does, you know, she's become synonymous with bad movies like these and also Madam Web. So that should pretty much tell you everything you need to know about that one. But then again, there's not really much you can do with her when you're playing a character who's just a lifeless shrill. I mean, nothing of intrigue is about this character of Anastasia Steele that makes her investing or intriguing. She has no real personality to her whatsoever. The sad truth is she's still the best actor in the movie, and she's at least trying to get something out of this. I mean, her name's attached to this movie, so yeah, obviously she's going to do everything she can to get something out of this. Unlike her love interest, Jamie Dornan as Christian Grey. Oh, sweet mother of God. This guy is not only awkward to watch, but he is fucking creepy in this movie. I swear to God, you could put a horror movie score, and it would fit better than anything they show in this movie here, because they make him look... You know, the whole thing is supposed to be like, he's this attractive, rich businessman, and, you know, the girls all seem to love him. It's just like, there's so many scenes where Christian Grey just stands there and looks creepy as all hell, that any other time, anyone would have called sexual harassment allegations on them. We have another Me Too scenario here, but in movie world, it's perfectly fine. No problems whatsoever. And even the sex scenes between these two are so uncomfortable to watch. Neither one of these two really feel like they're into it whatsoever. And that's the main problem with the movie. Again, this is the unsexiest movie you will ever see in your life. It's funny because we just had Wuthering Heights coming out not too long ago, which... kind of in the same way 50 Shades of Grey falls in that same category of a movie that promises to be romantic and sexy and is one of the most boring pieces of garbage you will ever see. Lifetime original movies will look at this and go like, Jesus Christ, lighten up already. We're butch compared to this shit. And why is Danny Elfman doing the score for this? He doesn't add anything to his score to this. When you hear a Danny Elfman score, you hear a unique score that is completely his. He's literally brought here to do the most blandest score possible, and he feels like he doesn't want any part of this whatsoever. The direction's off, too. This is Sam Taylor Johnson, the wife of Aaron Taylor Johnson, who apparently is not a very good director, because this is also the same director that did Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse biopic, which, despite a good performance by its leading star, yeah, that movie was terrible as well. I mean, you get the idea. Okay, a female director is helming this movie, so that means this is all A-okay, right? Yeah. She later regretted making the film, too. I mean, not but 2 years after this movie came out, she regretted directing the film, claiming that her differences with E.L. James caused her to walk away from the series. So even when they tried to be progressive and get a female director to make this movie, they fucked that up, too. That's the best way to describe this movie. It's a fuck up. They fuck up a chance to actually make something of quality off of something that was not well received, and they didn't even do that. They failed miserably and on so many levels. They gave you an uncomfortable, unsettling, and just unsexy experience whatsoever. The two leads have no chemistry together. The script is a mess. The music is generic and bland. The sex scenes aren't sexy. There's just nothing here. There's nothing about this movie that works. And I've watched this movie twice in my life. Once for this first review I did, and then recently for this, getting ready for this. It has not gotten any better since then. I would rather watch Wuthering Heights again than sit through this garbage. And the worst part about this is, there are still 2 more films left that I have to get to, and they're even worse. We're not even done with this, with the absurdity levels of how stupid this is yet. But there you go. That's 50 Shades of Grey for you. I mean, what did you expect, honestly? Let's go ahead and take a look at a new franchise that was also born this weekend that was not what you expected it to be. It's Kingsman: The Secret Service.
That was the headline the day after I defused a dirty bomb at the Pentagon. Front-page news on all these occasions was nonsense. Because it's the nature of Kingsman that our achievements remain secret.
How deep does this ring go?
Deep enough. Now. Valentine is a threat which affects us all.
You're a civilized solution. We're gonna have to deal with this ourselves. For an uncivilized world. The birth of a new age. Son of a... Kingsman: The Secret Service. R.
Yeah, talk about a diamond in the rough that kind of came out of nowhere. This is based off the acclaimed comic book and directed by Matthew Vaughn of Kick-Ass fame, and follows the story of a super-secret spy organization that recruits an unrefined but promising street kid played by Taron Egerton, who's put into the agency's ultra-competitive training program just as a global threat emerges from a twisted tech genius played by Samuel L. Jackson. You also have Colin Firth, Michael Caine, and Mark Strong in the film, and this movie really did feel like what Mordecai was trying to be. Smart, funny, very action-packed homage to spy movies of the 1960s, and it ended up becoming whatever the fuck Mordecai ended up becoming. But this is a great movie. This is the best thing that Matthew Vaughn has ever directed in his career. I mean, this was the first real contender for Best Movie of the Year in 2015. I mean, this movie worked on so many levels. Like, the casting is great. Colin Firth, Michael Caine, Mark Strong, Samuel L. Jackson doing everything they can to make this work, and they play their parts very well. You know, Taron Egerton's pretty good in this. This was the first movie I remember seeing him in, and it was just like, man, this kid is really good. Like, he looks so much like a younger Colin Firth and a younger James Bond. Like, if they were ever going to do a James Bond prequel at that time, he would have been the right guy to do it. And he was actually up, I believe, for the Spider-Man role before Tom Holland took it. And I really think he could have been somebody who could have done that. The other breakout star of the movie is Sofia Boutella, who plays Gazelle, the assassin with blades for her legs. I mean, a cool concept as it is, but she was also terrific in this movie. Like, it's hard to believe she's been working for 17 years up to this point, and yet this was her first major English filming role. And, you know, she had been known for like a hip-hop street dancer. She was in a bunch of Nike commercials back then, set dancer for Michael Jackson, Rihanna, Madonna. Those street dancing moves certainly came into full effect in here, because I really thought she was fantastic in this movie, and I thought she was going to be on her way to something bigger, and it looked like she was with Star Trek Beyond the next year. But then she did The Mummy, and then career kind of came kaput, if you ask me. But the action is great. The action is spectacular and over the top, and I mean over the top. When it has those over the top moments, they certainly make it noticeable. Like the last action scene alone, where they have all the VIPs in the room waiting for society to be destroyed, and the hero breaches the security and implants device to where their heads explode, and when they explode, there's literal fireworks that are exploding from their heads mixed in with blood and gore. I mean, that would be stupid. Likely something like we see in last week's SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, but the film, kind of like with that movie, this film is very much aware of its over-the-top insanity, and they use a lot of the same cliches we've seen done before, but they do it in such a unique way and make it so stand up and do something so fun. Like, you know, I mean, they have a great line about making fun of the cliches we see in action movies about how the bad guy always explains the plan before he offs the heroes. I mean, this is the first time in a while where they actually kill off recognizable names in here. I mean, except for Mark Strong. I mean, the names on the posters all do get killed off at some point, and also Taron Egerton too. But I can't remember a movie that manages to do something like that in recent memory. If anything one out there can remember, probably, I mean, I want to say maybe not the Magnificent Seven, Peckinpah movie. I can't remember what it was. I was going to say Mission Impossible at first, but no, none of those people were in the main cast overall. It was mostly Tom Cruise being at the center of it. If there is a flaw that I will say, the climax does run a little bit too long. I mean, there are at least 3 times where the climax, you think is over, and then 2 of them are fake outs, and it's just a little flaw, but it really didn't bug me a lot to say that this movie is a bad film. Far from it. This is a great, great movie. A great, fun homage to classic 60s-style spy movies with a great cast mixed in with seasoned vets and great newcomers, great direction, a well-written script, a lot of great action, both amazing and over the top, great self-referential humor. It's just a ton of fun, man. It's a movie that really was one of the big surprises of the year. And not only that, man, the whole it really got us all excited for what this series could become later on down the road, which sadly wasn't really a whole lot. Kingsman: The Golden Circle was a major flop overall, and then The Kingsman was better, but not as good as it could have been. And then Argyle tried to combine both Kingsman and that world, and pretty much failed miserably. But hey, at least we got a great first movie out of it, so take that for what you will. So let's go ahead and move on to our last movie, which, if you even want to consider it, this one also did kind of start a franchise too, except mostly for television. It's the movie version of the show that eventually would become on FX. This is What We Do in the Shadows.
You will not eat the camera guy, maybe one camera guy. Wow. Get it in, boy. Hey, don't swear. What are we? Werewolves, not werewolves.
So this is essentially kind of the equivalent to something like a This Is Spinal Tap or a Best in Show, except this time it's focusing on vampires. It's a New Zealand mockumentary comedy horror film from Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords and Taika Waititi, who had just done Eagle vs. Shark. Centers around several vampires who live together in a flat in Wellington, and it just follows their chaotic adventures. And it's a very unique and intriguing film. It's a movie that is very funny and very clever. A lot of the cast in this is really good. Clement and Waititi among the people in here, and they're very good. Rhys Darby's in here. He's very good. Jonathan Brew, Brendan Frasham, Jackie Van Beek. A lot of really, really good talent all across the board here. And it is a silly, fun movie. And again, it knows exactly what it is and just has the time of its life with it. It's a really good movie, and if you saw, Taika Waititi's other works like the Thor movies and Jojo Rabbit and Next Goal Wins, it's definitely a movie you want to check out, especially considering that it led to a really good FX TV series is not too long after this, which was a very good show. Ran for 6 seasons and was very, very enjoyable all across the board. It was a really fun show overall. If you haven't seen that show, definitely check that one out. But yeah, what we do in the shadows is really, really good. Definitely one you want to check out. One of Taika Waititi's best films. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, we'll take a look at three more films for February 2015. Kevin Costner starring in the latest Disney sports film, McFarlane USA. We have Mai Whitman and also, why am I forgetting her name? I just had it in my head. Bella Thorne in the high school comedy The Duff, and we have a comedy sequel that, most people thought was a little bit too late for this, but they debated anyway. Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Could they do what The Hangover couldn't do and give us a good sequel? Well, we'll figure that out tomorrow when we talk about that film. But with all that said, though, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.